What's happening, fellow geeks on the internet? I'm TGun coming at you with my final video of 2020. I know it's been a little bit since my last video. How are you guys doing? So for this final video, we've got a custom minifigure showcase of TGun Jedi Order, I guess we can say. This project was one I started back in May, and I've been working on and off all throughout the year, and I finally finished this project just tonight, actually. But yeah, so I'm filming on Christmas Eve 2020, and I'm hoping to get this up either by tonight or tomorrow, which will be Christmas Day for me, but it will be Christmas Eve for America and all that, because I'm a few hours ahead of them. But yeah, so basically this project was inspired by Lego Mag 9, Wolf of Lego, and all those guys when they decided to do Council of the Jedi, or Council, I don't remember. It was like a bunch of Lego customizers in the community for May 4th made themselves made sigfigs of themselves as how they would appear as a Jedi. I eventually did a figure like that and participated by using the hashtag, but then I ended up deciding I wanted to change my figure on how it looked, because it was basically generic robes with a cloak. But yeah, I wanted to change it to be a little bit different, and I decided to make a few friends from the cosplay community. So basically we have myself wearing a Santa hat because it is Christmas Eve. We've got Aiden, customized down under. Tex, I make stuff. Jared, JS Studios. Now he did have a cosplay account, Aussie Web Slinger Cosplays. He doesn't have that anymore, so I'm linking his Transformers account because he also makes Transformers customs. Sam, otherwise known as Bat Knight. I forget the numbers in his name. Heather, Red Shoe Cosplay. Daniel, Melbourne City Vigilante. Jared, Aussie Arsenal, and Mitchell, My Geek Life. Now, I did have another figure which I've made, and I will show you later through images, but I did have one made of my buddy Callum, Delusion of Grandeur Cosplay, but I already met up with him like a week or so ago, and I gave him his figure then, so I don't have it on me now. But he did send me photos of the figure, of the front and back, so when I get into his section, you'll see that then. Basically, after I show you these figures, I'll do like a bit of a wrap-up type thing, and then go into some of the plans I have for 2021. But yeah, with all that said, let's get straight into it. So starting off, here's me. Again, this is the second version of, how I'd appear as a Jedi. As earlier in the year, I did have more traditional sort of Jedi robes to the prequel era sort of Jedi. But then I wanted to kind of revamp this figure to kind of post-Return the Jedi, kind of going in the style of, like, in Legends, when Luke rebuilds the Jedi Order, and basically, his students could wear whatever they want, hell, even wield a blaster. So that's what I kind of went for here. So starting off with his accessories, here he has a Big Kid Bricks lightsaber. It's just a thin neck lightsaber based off Luke's Return Jedi lightsaber. I cut up an end of a Lego official lightsaber to put on here, painted it up in gunmetal, and then I add some dark copper for the neck, up on the band here, up on here, I guess you can kind of see, to kind of emulate like the black sort of band, kind of like from the Luke V3 hilt, and then just at the bottom, because I thought it would be pretty cool. The blaster, it's just an A180 blaster. I just thought it was a cool blaster, and I thought, everyone usually uses a DL44 or something else, but I just thought this was cool, so I used that. So yeah, again, second variation of the figure. The hairpiece that I went with is a Will Turner hairpiece. I thought it looks pretty cool. The length is about this accurate to mine from at the time. I think my hair is a little bit longer than back then, but I just thought, this suits me pretty well. And then the face is just one of these pilot faces from Star Wars sets. The cape is kind of supposed to emulate the black, like, cloak or poncho sort of capey thing that Luke wore in The Last Jedi. I really liked that part of his costume. He didn't wear it too much, but I wanted to kind of emulate that. That is something I will be changing in the future, as I am planning on going back and updating this figure. I will be once I get some more cloth accessories and stuff in, I'll be making a version 2, as I already have like a good base for my Last Jedi Luke Skywalker. So I will be going back and, fixing this up. But if I remove that out of the way, that's how he looks so far. So I do plan on doing a cosplay of this version, or like of this Jedi, of myself, pretty much. It seems to be a head. So I do plan eventually making a cosplay of this, as I reckon it'll be pretty cool. To go to a convention in my own sort of Jedi outfit. So yeah. So as you can see, as the undershirt, I got like a blue sort of high neck sort of shirt. Just thought it would be pretty cool. And then for the arms, I did add some gauntlets, kind of Clone Wars inspired. I don't know what sort of armor this would be, just some metallic grey gauntlets. Eventually I do want to go back and add a shoulder pad. I'm thinking a Mandalorian style shoulder pad, or Death Trooper shoulder pad, or something like that. So I'll eventually either sculpt, or I have made a couple of orders from Nate's minifigs, so I can add like a Mandalorian shoulder pad there in the future. Then I used some cloth. So these minifigures are actually my first real attempt at making Jedi minifigures and incorporating cloth into my minifigures. So whenever I do more of my Star Wars figures in the future, I'll be incorporating a lot more cloth. So as you can see, I made this tunic kind of based on a tunic I found on Etsy. Picture up now. So it looks pretty cool. The idea was, it'll be that tunic that I showed in the photo just there, but with the sleeves cut off just to show the blue. I painted it up in black, got that sort of collar bit, or like the tabards that go around. It's actually one piece, so if I remove the head, you can see it comes up and around. It's just the one piece, I didn't cut it up. The belt I added on in brown, got a plain gunmetal belt buckle, I don't know, just some sort of buckle or something there. This rectangular bit is meant to be like the lightsaber holder, as I do like in the originals that the lightsabers were held on by like a little hook over the Covertech clip. Some pouches from the Lego Batman movie belt, and then I got some brown pants. I got the blaster holster on this side for my A180 pistol, and then some black boots. I have tiny tactical glove tops, and the gloves are from Eclipse Graphics. They're just some standard fingerless gloves, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for my Jedi. Let me know what you think down below as I arm him up. And since it's December and it's Christmas Eve, the time I'm recording, here is a Santa hat. So there we go. So next up we have my really good buddy Tex. Tex's figure here was actually a second minifigure I finished up. Tex is a really good artist and actually designed me what he wanted his Jedi to look like. Here's a side-by-side now of his minifigure and the piece that he sent me as reference. So I think I captured that pretty well, like very closely. Aside from his little red armband that I didn't add, I think I got really close to his original design. So starting off with this lightsaber, it's actually a pretty cool lightsaber design, and I really like how it turned out. So this used a Lego brick arm sword. I forget the sword. The end here is a Lego official lightsaber piece. Here is a Brick Forge Evil Apprentice lightsaber emitter. And then I also, I glued it in. I also cut off another Lego official lightsaber and glued that Lego bar part inside here, and then green lightsaber blade as you wanted it green as well. So this figure was really fun to make. I think I spent a couple of nights on this guy, and yeah, so his hairpiece is a Ninjago J hairpiece from the Ninjago movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't follow Ninjago. But yeah, the head is a Hawkeye head. I just thought it worked pretty well, and Tex seemed to like the head, so yeah. Then underneath here, I painted his underrobes, and then the bit of flesh up there. You got in brown I think it was E-tape, just like the undershirt, which goes all the way around, kind of, yeah. So I think that's just the Lego torso. At the bottom, added kind of like a mini cape sort of thing with E-tape. Then I did the grey tunic, so the grey tabards, I guess that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. But like the grey tunic that goes around. A really cool design for the tunic, I must say. And I'm really happy with how I went with that. I think I used a couple of pieces. So I had one piece that goes over each shoulder. And then I think the bottom part here was another piece. So I used 3 pieces, I believe. And then after that was done, I did the red sash, which is another bit of cloth. And then for the belt, I just used electrical tape. He didn't really want any belt pouches, but he did have this loop sort of thing, which I guess is what holsters the lightsaber. So I added that on. I've got another bit of brown here, which is kind of like the brown shirt that goes underneath. For the arms, I used some E-tape for the short sleeves up the top. This was a bit of a pain to do, not gonna lie, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. And then I used electrical tape for like the short sleeves up here for like his undershirt. And then he had like this really cool bracer or something, like this wrap, which I added in electrical tape, which I just winded around, painted in dark tan. This side, it was just the longer sleeve and then just some flesh. And then I used the moose figs method of, using the studs with the holes in the center for the glove tops with some plain black hands. Then just some dark tan legs and brown boots painted on, which goes all the way around. Oh, and then I used some E-tape for like the top of the boots. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. So anyway, so there's Tex. Really like how this guy turned out. Let me know what you think down below, and let's move on to the next one. So again, I don't own Callum's figure anymore, so here is a couple of photos that Callum actually took for me and sent over. So basically for the figure, I just used the standard Batman vs Superman hairpiece. Didn't touch anything on it. Then I used a Poe Dameron head, which I thought matched Callum's likeness very much. Then on the torso, I believe for the Poe Dameron torso, removed the printing, painted on like the collar and some wrinkles. Then I used some dark orange arms. For his robe, I used some fabric on the front, on top of the figure and the side, painting it all in blue. And the back was just one bit of fabric that I cut up and glued on the back. Then the obi was another bit of fabric that I painted up in brown. Then I used electrical tape for the belt and painted on the belt buckle. Then I used a Cape Madness waist cape, which I painted up in blue to match the top part of the robe. Then I used a bit of fabric which I painted up in hull red and glued onto the waist piece. Then the legs I painted up in linen deck brown. Then I painted on the boots. And yeah, really cool minifigure. I really love how it turned out. I did have a lightsaber made for him, which was also a green lightsaber, but the hilt broke. So when I get time, I will make another lightsaber for Callum and send it out to him. Here's a side-by-side of the cosplay and the minifigure. And I think I managed to capture that pretty nicely. So I really like how the final result looks and the color scheme I just really love. Callum's happy with it, so I'm really happy that, I was able to capture that likeness and everything. But yeah, anyway, now let's move on to the next figure. Next up, we have my good buddy Jared, otherwise known as JS Studios on Instagram. He's also a big fan of Transformers and customizes Transformers figures. But yeah, so basically when I asked him what he wanted for his design, he basically said Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith, just blue instead of brown. So that's what I did here. So first up, his lightsaber, I made a crossguard, as he did cosplay Kylo earlier in the year, and he does like crossguard lightsabers, so I just did that with blue blades. How I did this was, originally, I did something else, but like, I wasn't a fan of it. It's like, the bottom part was like a brick arms missile with this part of, like, one of those lightsaber pieces with, I don't know, it's like this, it's basically a lightsaber bit, but it's got like that, which I cut off the top and glued on a lightsaber official emitter, but I didn't like how the hilt looked, so I basically took that off and then just used the LEGO official hilt, and it looks really cool. Blue blades, and yeah. So for the hairpiece, it was this custom hairpiece I think I made for one of my Nathan Drakes, so I just carried it across, just this brown spiked up hairpiece. The top had been all carved down, and then I just sculpted on the top to make it flat. His head is a Marty McFly head, which I think matches Jared pretty nicely. So the good thing about this minifigure is it gives you guys a look at how I'll be doing my minifigures for the prequel era of Jedi when I eventually do that. But yeah, so basically, painted in the flesh bit up at the top there and the under robes. His base robes, I used cloth, which I know it's kind of silly now because I used a lot of e-tape, but I did use the wrapping here in cloth. So basically what I did, I had like, two bits of cloth which would cross over each other underneath, and then I added these two bits which were kind of like a collar or something which would go over the top, and then I went over in electrical tape as Anakin Skywalker had like a pleathery sort of tabards, so I went with e-tape. I think if I was to do this figure again, I would actually cut down the electrical tape a bit more so it's a little bit thinner, so I will be doing that in the future. I used a bit of cloth to go around as like the mini waist cape, and then I just had the tabards continue on. As you can see underneath, I do have cloth underneath here as well. I don't know, I just think using cloth as the base for the tunics just looks much better than the LEGO official, or the plastic from the LEGO. So that's why I went this route with the cloth. Even though you don't see a lot of it, I just think it just looks a lot better, in my opinion. Then the obi, which is under the belt here, I also used some cloth painted in the blue to match. So this is, to me, a flat blue. Then electrical tape for the belt. Then I used another thinner piece to go around for the main part of the Jedi belt. Painted on the buckle, little lightsaber holder, a couple of pouches, and these capsules, which I guess are food capsules or something on the Jedi. Then I added this other third party or knockoff tactical belt, which I cut off the pouches, glued that on the back. Then I painted the legs up in Linum Deck brown for the main pants, and then the boots are in flat brown. And yeah, really like how this turned out. Let me know what you think down below. Again, I'm going to try for all future prequel style Jedis to not have as wide of the tabard, so that way you can see more of the cloth details underneath. But yeah, really like how this turned out regardless. Next up, we have one of the last Jedi figures that I finished up. This is Aiden, otherwise known as Customized Down Under. So he's basically a more traditional style Jedi as well, just the same as Jared, but a black and tan color scheme, which I think looks really cool. So this hilt is a custom hilt. Originally I made it as, it was supposed to be like a Shoto hilt, but I ended up deciding I wanted a blaster instead of a Shoto hilt, so I just repurposed this, gave it a longer blade, and yeah. So basically, I think it was like this was a Billy Club handle, and then I used a LEGO official lightsaber end, which I glued on, and then this side is just also this piece just with the little cubes cut off and open, so that way you can add the lightsaber blade. I glued the lightsaber blade in just to keep it all together. Yeah, it looks nice. So basically, same method as Jared's figure. So I painted the top part of his, the flesh part up here. Then I painted the under wraps as well in a red-brown from Tamiya. Then I used this cloth, which, as you can see, I did the cross, which I have overlapping each other as the base tunic. Then I have a piece going around. Now this cloth was a little bit thicker, as it was from some third-party seller who was selling these custom tent pieces on eBay, so the cloth was just a little bit thicker to the Lego grade, which it still looks pretty nice, and it was all I had at the time. So as you can see, I do have them overlapping, and that's how I made it on Jared's. I didn't add the fold bits, so the raised bits on this one, but it's fine. Then for the tabards, I used some thinner cloth as I only had enough to go around. So I have them going around. So basically I do one on each side going around, and then I glue on bits at the bottom. I didn't add any on the back, as some of them don't have the bits that hang down below the obi, which is what that part under the belt is called. So I just decided to leave that off there, just to be a little bit different. Plus it's very Qui-Gon Jinn or Obi-Wan Kenobi-esque. But yeah, so I painted it all tan. Thin cloth for the obi as well, then an electrical tape for the belt, then a thinner piece for like the inner bit. Then I painted the belt buckle in gunmetal, the lightsaber clip in grey, and then the pouch is in brown as well, which I needed to touch up that corner. And then underneath, I forget where I got these legs from, but they're basically dark tan legs. You don't really see the pockets there, but those lines look pretty cool for like seam lines, and then just black boots. This arm is just a plain black arm, which I just painted up in black, and this side is actually a gold arm, as you really wanted a robotic arm. So I decided to just use a gold arm, and then just have it rolled up sleeve with the black, just to kind of show that off. And then for the face, I used the old Luke Skywalker face, which I think works pretty nicely. And then I used a Lloyd hairpiece, which is heavily modified and painted up, so the front part's sculpted there. This actually used to be my Nightwing hairpiece, which is now on Aiden, and I think it works pretty nicely. Because at the time, he did have longer hair, but now I think he has short hair again, but I'm not changing it. So Aiden, you're stuck with the long hair. So let's move on. Actually, no, I lied. Aiden's figure was second last to be made, and this was the last figure, and this is Heather, aka Red Shoe Cosplay. Now, this was actually a late addition to the gang, but it was still a really fun figure to make. The lightsaber is just a Ahsoka Tano lightsaber with a purple blade, as Heather wanted a purple lightsaber blade. So, yeah. So the hood piece is just the Lloyd hood piece, which I painted the hair up here in red, as Heather did have red hair. I think she still does. But yeah, I don't know where this face is from. I got it from Firestar Toys, and I just thought it worked pretty nicely. So the base outfit is supposed to be inspired from the Season 3 to 6 outfit for Ahsoka Tano with Rey-style wraps, which is what I've done here. So I used an Aerialite curved torso, painted on the basic robe, or like the outfit, got some flesh arms, painted on the gauntlets, didn't add the top parts on the shoulders. Heather wasn't too fussed by it, and I didn't really want to attempt doing the diamonds on there just yet. Then I used some blue hands. Originally I did paint up some fingerless gloves, but the paint just kept scratching off around the wrist and on the hands whenever the hilt would go on the hand, so I just decided to just leave it and just go with some dark blue hands. Use some electrical tape for like the bottom part of like the shirt or like the tunic, I don't know what you call it. Then the race style wraps, I use some cloth, which I paint up in this Tamiya medium blue. Goes around on this side, you can see I've got the matching up part just like Rey, and then this and this part just hanging down. On the back's pretty cool. I do still have the cloth bits crisscrossing, but I added like this little shoulder cape, which I thought was pretty cool. Same color paint as the other robes. Then I got a couple of pouches on the back, and I imagine this little bit as a lightsaber clip. What happened there was I accidentally overglued, and in a panic I just quickly cut up some card, glued that down, painted it up in black, added a grey dot, and there you go. You got a lightsaber clip. But just ignore that like little part. So yeah, it was always intentional. The legs I painted up in grey, and then I added red boots because her Instagram name is Red Shoe Cosplay, so it's kind of a must, if you ask me. But yeah. So that's Red Shoe Cosplay. I really like how this turned out, and now let's move on to the next one. So here we have my buddy Daniel, otherwise known as Melbourne City Vigilante. He was kind of going for like a rogue Jedi sort of thing, sort of Star Killer inspired in a way. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So this also uses an Ahsoka Tano lightsaber, but I've got like the end here modded where I've cut down the little grooves, and I also cut off the little grooves on here, kind of emulating the Saber Forge lightsaber I sold him earlier in the year. So I think it looks pretty cool, and a blue blade. So this head was originally a Superman head, which I painted up for Captain America, and then I just modified it by painting over the beard in black and then painting on his shaved head, because Daniel does have a shaved head. So yeah, I didn't think of using a heavy there. And then I used this Ninjago armor sort of pauldron piece. I cut off one of them, just one of the pauldrons, just to be a bit asymmetrical. Then of course I cut off the sword sheath part from the back. On the torso, I painted on like the underrobes, and then I used fabric to make this really cool tunic design. He did want a trench coat, so I decided to make that, and then I painted some short sleeves. Then I used some Brick Warriors vamp braces, cut off the spikes, and then painted up in metallic brown, and then painted the gauntlets on there. Plain black gloves. If I remove the trench coat, you can see this really cool tunic design that I've done. So basically I had one piece that went around from the front, glued here and here, went around the back, had one piece on the back there as like a back piece, and then I've got the tabards going around, and looks really nice. Then I used electrical tape for the belt, painted on the belt buckle there, and the pouches there. Plain black legs, painted up a metallic brown knee and shin guard, and then just brown boots. And yeah, this figure looks really cool, I must say. This one I did struggle with design-wise, because, Daniel didn't really know what he wanted. So I had to improvise for a little bit, and I think the final figure turned out really cool. So yeah, Daniel seemed to really like the figure, and that's what's really important, because I'm not keeping these guys. So eventually I will be sending this out to Daniel. So yeah, if he likes it, that's great. So anyway, now let's move on. So here we have Sam, otherwise known as Bat Knight. This is really cool and unique design. He's kind of going for a Great Jedi sort of design, mixed with like this old knight kind of design, I'm guessing. But yeah, starting off with the lightsaber, he really wanted like a crossguard, but like a High Republic or Knights of the Old Republic style, where it's not like a lightsaber, like for these crossguard bits. So that's what I did here. And then he was also wanting a yellow lightsaber blade, just to be a little bit different. But yeah, it's a little bit wonky, but oh well. So he's got a dark grey hood. This face from Lone Ranger. Not sure what the character's called. I haven't seen Lone Ranger. He's got this short mini cape, which was a last minute addition, which can come off, I believe. Yep. There's this short mini cape, which is pretty cool. He did have another one, but I ended up using it for something else, so this is the replacement, and I think it looks better, and it matches the color of the hood better. So he had some really cool designs. He had like this crossing tabards over the front, and then like Obi-Wan Kenobi style chest and shoulder armor, which I added on here. I used fabric for the base, as you can see, and then I painted it in grey. Then I used, I think it was a grey cape from Cape Madness, which I cut up and glued on. Add this other little under tunic bit, or like skirt bit underneath. Painted up the belt buckle, and then added some pouches on it in brown. One pouch on the back there. You can see it comes down a little bit. Then I painted the pants in, I think, flat brown. Got some greaves, and then black boots. You can see I've sculpted on the shoulder armor, and then I used electrical tape for the van braces there. So yeah, this guy looks pretty cool. I really like how this turned out, and pretty unique design for like a Great Jedi-esque sort of character. So yeah, and some people might be mad because it's not a white lightsaber blade, but oh well, I think it's it still looks pretty cool. So yeah, there's Bat Knight. Second last, we have the second Jared of this showcase, and this is Aussie Arsenal. Now, as you can tell by his Instagram name, his favourite character is Arsenal. So when I asked for some reference on, how he wanted this figure, he basically sent me a picture of practically an Arsenal figure with a lightsaber. I was like, no. Because originally he didn't want robes. So I ended up talking him into this 2003 Clone Wars style robe sort of design from Obi-Wan Kenobi. But before I get to that, the lightsaber is just basically a LEGO official lightsaber with a brick forge lightsaber hilt emitter on here to kind of give it this look. It's fairly similar to his Ultra Saber's lightsaber, so it works, and it's got a green blade. He's got a red hood. Gee, I wonder why. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Not sure where this face is from, but I got it from Firestar Toys. I sculpted on the armor like he originally wanted for the chest. And then I think I used a bit of card. Yeah, I used plastic card for the abdomen part. And after seeing his original design of the Arsenal with the lightsaber, I ended up deciding on, no, I'm going to... he's got to have robes to be, at least semi-Jedi-esque. So I talked him into these, as I said, 2003 Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi style robes. And he loved the look of them. So, yeah, and it was really fun to do this style of robe. So it goes round, it used hull red, which is kind of like a black with a red tint. The waistcoat bit goes all the way around it. Then I've got these top two bits which come up, which actually glue connected at the top. Then I've got the back piece and stuff. The belt goes all the way around, plain black arm with a brown glove, and then I've got a sleeveless arm here with a black glove, and it just goes up, continues up there. Black legs and brown boots. And yeah, this guy looks really cool. The belt pouches on the front is from the Batman movie belt pieces, as most of the belt pieces are, as I've been forgetting to mention that. But yeah, let me know what you think of this guy down below. Lucky last, we have Mitch, otherwise known as Mikey Clive. So starting off with the lightsaber, he showed me this really cool design off of Google, which used the Lego key, had like a part here cut off and the round bit here cut off, and then part of a lightsaber hilt with the cubes cut down, and then the blade, which I glued in because the blade kept falling out. It looks really cool. So for Mitch's minifigure, his hairpiece is a Mr. Incredible hairpiece, slightly altered up here and filled in. I was originally making it a Barney Stinson hairpiece when I was originally making that. The face is the Steve Rogers face from Civil War Captain America sets. Now this original design here was originally my first Jedi minifigure, which basically had a grey cape, and these blue tabards and Obi were in a grey. I went over in blue because Mitch wanted them in blue. I painted the under sash thing here in a medium blue as well, just to kind of fit better with the colour scheme. And then I just left the black up here. Now this is a Lego official, now this is just the Lego torso. There's no cloth under the tabards and Obi, so this is much more Lego-matic 9 design inspired, which, it still looks alright, but I just prefer the fabric underneath. So, this was before I obviously changed and decided to do fabric for the base tunic as well as the tabards and Obi. And then I painted the legs in flat black, brown boots, and then it's just a, Lego official black torso and arms, and then electrical tape under here. Got a pouch in the back, electrical tape for the belt. So it's pretty much the same as, same methods as these two. It's just I didn't add cloth, for the base tunic part under the tabards and Obi. But, yeah, this is much more Lego-matic 9 inspired, in terms of how he does his lightsabers. And, nothing against it. It still looks pretty cool, but, just after doing Jedi with the cloth for the base tunic, this just isn't my style anymore. So yeah. But yeah, there we have Mitch. So let's go ahead and wrap up for 2020. So thank you guys for watching my custom TGun Jedi Order minifigure showcase for you guys. Now this part of the video is more my wrap up slash plans for early next year. So I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can before I go rambling on. As you can see here, I've got some of like my 4 most recent Transformers customs and my best Transformers customs in my opinion. So from right to left, we've got my custom Studio Series Smokescreen, my movie The Best Hound, and my Studio Series Thundercracker from the Bumblebee movie on his Earth mode, and my custom Studio Series Bumblebee movie Starscream, which, as you can see, I got some new 3D printed accessories in from an eBay seller who does all these 3D printed Transformers upgrades, which I'll leave a link to his eBay store down below, as he's got a whole bunch of stuff on his site. So this is the Blitzwing sword, which looks really cool on those two. So for next year, I do have some plans for some figures. I will be doing an updated Sideswipe custom, as I do have a couple of these Sideswipe kits from Dino Model Shop. So it comes with a sword and a new back piece, which is easily, switchable. They come off just like that. So this figure in particular, I will be painting up in my own sort of custom character called Sideburn. I think there is a Transformer in, I think, Combiner Wars or something named Sideburn, but this is going to be my own design featuring this figure type and swords and back piece, and it's going to be a bounty hunter sort of character in my sort of design, so look forward to that. And then again, I will be doing a future Sideswipe custom using these as well, which will be a version 2, just better paint. Like this guy looks alright, but I'm wanting to do a better paint scheme on him, and part of the silver from the factory paint is scratched off in some places, so there's some stuff I want to do differently with this guy, which is what I'm going to be aiming to do. So I also have Skywarp, which is in the works, and then I also have other Seekers that I'm currently working on, which is Hotlink, Red Wing, Acid Storm, Iron Storm, Nova Storm. Then I'm also planning on Blitzwing, a movie version, like from the Bumblebee movie, and a G1-esque sort of design, which I'm going to try and mod to appear that he has tank parts on him, which will be pretty fun. And then a couple of other Seekers as well. Kind of building up a Seeker army. Some other Transformers customs that I am planning. I am making a custom Prowl. So I still need to get a new head, and he's still in the works. His vehicle mode is pretty much painted, just got to paint up the robot mode. Kind of going for like the old 2007 Recon Barricade sort of color scheme. For this guy, just something a little bit different. I'm also working on a custom Cliff Jumper. But this guy's turning out really cool. Really loving how this is looking out. It's a combination of the High Octane Bumblebee color scheme, but for Cliff Jumper on the 1977 Camaro design with some Bumblebee movie Cliff Jumper elements, because if you look at the model, he does have some gunmetal on the shoulders and on the pieces that would have been the doors on his Cybertronian mode. So, yeah. And then I also have another project planned for next year featuring some Fallen figures. So, I've got a few Fallen figures. If you're not too sure what I'm doing with all these Fallen figures, then you can wait until the announcement video, but there's your hint. I also got from Dino Model Shop as well this little Matrix, and also the Allspark kit as well, which is pretty cool, which I don't have the Allspark on me. But that's pretty much planned. My plans for my Transformers Studio Series custom so far. There will be more than that, I'm sure, but that's just what I have planned at the moment. So please keep an eye out for that. For custom minifigures, I am planning on continuing my Red Dead Redemption 2 minifigures too. So I'm hoping these will be out. I've got my custom John Marston in the works for my Chapter 2 showcase, and then I also have my Chapter 2 Dutch Vanderlyn. So these guys are pretty good. I've still got to do Hosea, which I've got a decent amount of work on, but I just don't have a head and decided to, at least save him for the showcase. And then I also got to make Arthur Morgan as well. But that showcase will be out soon. I also have a Mandalorian Season 2 showcase coming. I may split them up into 2 showcases, but we'll see. I don't really want to go into the characters so far. But pretty much all you can think of who, a lot of people will be making for Mandalorian will be the figures I'll be making as well. They'll be coming out soon. I'll definitely be doing a showcase on that, probably first up, as well as a couple of my own custom Mandalorian figures. So I've got like this purple and black Mandalorian that I'm working on, and then I also have a custom Mandalorian Hunter, which I'm really liking how this guy's turning out, and I'm actually going to be doing cosplay of this guy sometime soon, so yeah, that's how that's turning out. But other than that, that's basically it. So thank you guys for sticking around with me for 2020. It hasn't been the best for me. It's been alright. It hasn't been changed too much. Not trying to brag. It's just, I was an essential worker. So, 2020 has just been all the same for me personally. Because I already did uni online. As I did an online course last year before, COVID was a thing. And then, I work in a supermarket, so I wasn't really affected personally, so my year hasn't been that bad, but overall 2020 hasn't been the best year. Let's hope 2021's a lot better. There may be less videos uploads. I know I didn't upload too many videos this year. There may be less just due to, it's my final year at uni, so I may be getting bogged down with that a bit more, as well as work on top of that, so I'm going to try and work on customs and get videos out for you guys, but just be wary, there may be less videos, so I do apologize for that. I'll make videos when I can. I am thinking of maybe starting vlogging, doing like a weekly vlogs or something, just to kind of fill the gap, kind of like showing updates and stuff. Like, it wouldn't be every week, but, maybe monthly vlogs or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah. So, I think that's it. Merry Christmas to everyone watching. Have a safe and happy holiday. Comment, like, subscribe, share for more. I've got a new Instagram now. I got rid of my TGun Customs and TGun Customs and Cosplay Instagram. I now have TGun Creations, which was my personal Instagram, which I've now made public. It's going to have my customs of Lego, Transformers, as well as cosplay, just all in the one place. So just check that out down below, which is a new link. Go follow me on there, where there'll be more uploads than YouTube. As I said, there will probably be less YouTube uploads next year, but I'll do my best to get stuff out. I may do some vlogs here and there, but we'll see. So thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and share for more. And I'll see you guys next year. Have a safe and happy holidays. And, yeah, just be safe in general. Alright, see ya.